Investigative website Bellingcat has named to the second suspect in the Salisbury Novichok poisoning case as Alexander Mishkin. According to the website, he is the second of the two Russians who Britain says was responsible for the attack on Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in March this year. 39-year-old Mishkin was charged by Britain last month under the name of Alexander Petrov, and the website has further stated that Mishkin was a military doctor for Russia's GRU military intelligence. Far-right candidate Jair Bolsonaro has won the first round of presidential elections in Brazil. The second round is set to begin on October 28th, and Bolsonaro will face his opponent, a left-wing Workers' Party candidate Fernando Haddad. This year's elections are touted to be a deeply polarizing runoff, with Brazilian voters' anger at corruption driving a major shift in the country's electoral stance. Cameroon opposition candidate Maurice Kamto declared victory in the country's presidential election on Monday, but offered no evidence to justify his claim to have won. Incumbent President Paul Biya's party dismissed his claim as flight of fantasy and accused him of breaking the law by claiming early victory. Kamto leads the movement for the rebirth of Cameroon. While talking to reporters in the capital, Yaoundé said that his mission was to take penalty. He said, and I quote, "I did it and I won." During a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, China's top diplomat Yang Jiechi said that China and the United States must expand political cooperation. Pompeo, who is in the Chinese capital after meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, said that there were many issues on which Washington and Beijing disagree upon, but it was important that both sides listen to each other. The exchange struck a softer tone than the one earlier between Pompeo and Chinese Foreign Minister and State Councillor Wang Yi. The Dutch ambassador to Russia has said that the Netherlands has made a very clear signal to Russia over cyber attacks by the Russian intelligence. The ambassador said that Netherlands will not tolerate cyber attacks on international organizations by Russian intelligence. These comments come after Dutch authorities said last week that they had disrupted a Russian hacking mission when they caught 4 men in April while spying equipment at a hotel next to the headquarters of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Days after the divisive vote that confirmed Brett Kavanaugh to a lifetime appointment at the U.S. Supreme Court, United States President Donald Trump branded the sexual assault allegations against Kavanaugh as hoax and completely fabricated. Trump said, and I quote, "Democrats tortured him and his family. I thought it was a disgrace." Now, Kavanaugh's 2-vote margin of victory in the Senate made it to the closest Supreme Court confirmation vote since 1881 and by far the most contentious. The legal team of Christian woman sentenced to death for blasphemy in Pakistan said that they were satisfied with the appeal case. In 2010, Asia Bibi, a mother of 4 children, became the first woman to be sentenced to death under Pakistan's draconian blasphemy laws. She appealed to the Supreme Court, which concluded proceedings on Monday but has reserved its judgment, as hardline Islamist groups warn of terrible consequences if she is granted leniency. The court has not specified when it would announce a ruling. French President Emmanuel Macron met Chilean President Sebastián Piñera at the Élysée Palace, and the French Premier greeted Piñera along with his wife at the palace entrance. Piñera's visit to France comes ahead of an expected French government reshuffle this week. The European Commission has urged Bulgaria to conduct a rapid investigation into the killing of journalist Victoria Marinova. Marinova's body was found in a park near the Danube River in her hometown of Rus on October 6th, and prosecutors said that she had been raped, then beaten and suffocated. Marinova is the 3rd journalist to be murdered in the EU over the past 12 months. A senior North Korean diplomat held talks with Russia in Moscow. Russia's deputy foreign minister discussed a settlement to the situation on the Korean peninsula with his North Korean counterpart. The officials also reached an agreement to strengthen coordination on security in the region. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has said that Saudi Arabia must prove that missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi left the consulate premises in Istanbul. 58-year-old Khashoggi has been missing since October 2nd and was last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Turkish officials have accused the Saudis of a premeditated plan of killing the journalist, who was a staunch critic of the Saudi crown prince. Erdogan has also said he was personally following the case and added that Turkey had no documents or evidence at hand regarding the case. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe met with leaders from the Mekong countries in Tokyo ahead of the Mekong-Japan summit, meeting at a news conference after the bilateral meeting. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Sen welcomed Abe's offer to invite young politicians to Japan. Abe also hosted a banquet for all leaders, and Myanmar's de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi was among those attended. The Mekong Summit has been held every year since 2009 to strengthen the relationship between Japan and Mekong countries: Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand and Vietnam. Nobel Peace Prize winner Nadia Murad held a press conference in Washington, D.C., where she made an impassioned statement about the plight of the Yazidi community. The 25-year-old said, and I quote, "Our humanity must be the basis of our politics and national interest." Murad, an Iraqi Yazidi woman held as a sex slave by Islamic State militants, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize along with Congolese doctor Denis Mukwege, who helps victims of sexual violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Protesters in the capital of Russia's Ingushetia Republic demanded the resignation of the republic's head and the cancellation of a land swap deal with the neighboring Republic of Chechnya. Thousands in Russia have been protesting against a land deal between Ingushetia and Chechnya since last week. Both regions are predominantly Muslim regions and have had simmering territorial tensions since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. A Defence Research and Development Organization employee has been arrested in the Indian city of Nagpur for alleged espionage links. Nishant Agarwal was arrested in a joint operation by Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra anti-terrorism squads. The suspect used to work at the BrahMos unit and is suspected to have leaked crucial defence-related information to Pakistan's ISI. Sources say the Agarwal has been under the scanner for a long time and has alleged links with other foreign organizations as well. Rescue workers from Germany's International Search and Rescue are helping residents in Indonesia's quake-struck Palu to get access to clean drinking water. The team, consisting of 14 rescuers from across Germany, arrived as Indonesia's State Disaster Agency announced on Sunday it had decided to end searches for bodies later this week. The official death toll has risen to 1,763, but bodies continue to be recovered from underneath the rubble. Mandatory evacuation orders and school closures were issued in the northwestern as Hurricane Michael was expected to strengthen rapidly before slamming into the state on Wednesday. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said that Michael was currently a Category 1 hurricane but could become a Category 3 storm, packing wind speeds of at least 100 miles per hour. The hurricane was predicted to dump 4 to 12 inches of rain with life-threatening flash flooding. Across Central America, heavy rains and flooding have thrown life out of gear. Floods and landslides have killed 12 people across Guatemala, Honduras and Costa Rica in just few days. The rain has destroyed houses and crops and forced thousands to leave their homes for temporary shelters. In Nicaragua, the government said 23,000 people were affected and that a fisherman was killed after his boat overturned. 2 others drowned in a river. In Honduras, over 7,000 people have been forced to evacuate their homes. At least 14 people have been killed and over 200 injured after a powerful 5.9 magnitude earthquake rocked Haiti. Thousands of Haitians have been forced out of their homes and moved to temporary relief camps. Aid agencies are scrambling to help those affected in the poorest towns. A powerful 5.2 magnitude aftershock led more residents to flee their homes in the impoverished Caribbean region. Residents say that the full extent of the damage is still not clear. French and Italian authorities are scrambling to contain an oil spill north of the French island of Corsica. The accident happened after a container ship and a ferry collided. The collision smashed a hole in the hull of one of the ships, causing the 3-mile-long spill of heavy fuel. No injuries have been reported from the spill, and the cause of the collision still remains unknown amid fears of pollution by environment activists. Now, France's ecology minister has said that he was confident operations to pump the fuel floating in the water would be successful. Californian skies were lit up by blue auras after exhaust from SpaceX's latest Falcon 9 launch lit up the night sky. Video showed the Falcon 9's contrails rip through the California night sky. The launch was first to see SpaceX's reusable booster land in California and SpaceX's 30th booster landing in total. Previous launches on the West Coast have seen SpaceX's boosters land on specialized drone barges. Mesmerizing northern lights illuminated the skies of Rovaniemi in the Arctic Circle. The rippling lights were seen in the form of a wide arch, their colors changing from green to white to purple. The phenomenon, also known as aurora borealis, is a result of electrically charged particles from the sun entering the Earth's atmosphere.